Okay, so I'm back. I promise y'all I will keep uploading. So today I want to talk about coming from an ex-stripper's point of view. What I mean by that is I'm going to talk about some different topics and some different things here. First, I'm going to talk about just being, if you want to call it a stripper, a dancer, exotic dancer, pole dancer, entertainer, whatever you want to call yourself. So I started dancing when I was 19 years old, I believe. I may have been 18, I can't remember. So I was in college. Yes, that's normally the story how most start off. That you normally hear that they either are in college or they are getting ready to start college. It's or they need help getting through college financially. Um, my story was, I'm started all the way back from the time when Players Club came out. Okay, so I saw Players Club, and I just thought it was fascinating that, oh, I can get on the stage and make money. Now, mind you, I have a actual dance background. So from the time I was 3 to the time I was like 18, well, actually more like 20, because I tapped all the way until I was like 20 something years old. So I was in ballet, tap, jazz, modern African dance. So my mother had me in dance school. I was in dancing for a very long time. So I'm not familiar, not I'm familiar with the stage is what I'm trying to say. So jokingly, I would always say to myself, you know what? I could do this. I watched Players Club so many darn times. I said, you know what? When I get older, I'm going to decide to be a stripper if I needed the money. Because I dance for free in front of tons of people at recitals. I can do it anyway. Some people will say, what a strange process of thinking. Well, I'm a strange, weird individual in free spirit. Okay. So I said, okay, yeah. So I get to college. And just like anyone that has, you have to get your student loan. I had a Sally Mae loan. And a lot of people don't know, when you have parents that make a certain amount of money, sometimes certain grants and loans, well, grants, I would say, like a Sally Mae loan, or if it's a grant, I can't remember what Sally Mae is, but certain things aren't awarded to you, or you can't get because of the bracket of how much your parents are making. Um, so it covered enough, but it got to one semester where it would not cover my biology book. My biology book was about 300 something dollars. Mind you, this was in 2000. Well, more like late 98, well, 99, 2000. Once again, guys, I'm outside. I need to get more vitamin D. So, like I said, I'm in North Carolina. They just had this thing about having loud cars, so I apologize for the loud noise. So anyway, I went to college in Florida. I actually went to Seminole Community College during this time when I had to pay for this biology book. My major was pre-law, and I just didn't have it. Parents was like, you got to figure it out. I was like, okay. So one day I'm with two of my friends, and we go around one of their friends from high school, and we go hang out. And my one friend, we're just gonna I give her nickname, but she's not a miserable person. Her name was Misery. And so she's like, I know somebody that can help you make the money for your biology book. I'm like, okay, bet. So we go around one of their friends. Beautiful, beautiful white girl, great person. So we're in there, we're kicking it, what young girls do. We're all laughing, joking, have a little smoke, just chilling. And we bring up my situation with my biology book. So when we bring it up, she goes, oh, I could definitely help you get that money up. Matter of fact, if you follow what I tell you to do, you'll have that money within a few hours. I'm like, well, what in the world I'm gonna be doing? Look, I'm from Philly. I'm thinking, look, I ain't got time for selling drugs. Okay, because selling drugs ain't what I'm going to do. Okay, so I'm like, that's not happening, and I'm definitely not going to be a prostitute. Okay, standing on the corner. So she goes into her room, and she has a Nike box full with money rolled up in rubber bands. And I'm like, what in the world? I mean, stacked to the rim. 20s, 5s, 1s, 100s, 50s, 10s, you name it. It probably had over $3,000 in this box. And she said, and I said, well, wow, what did you do to get all this money? And she goes, oh, I danced at a club called Club Haram, which used to be called the Booby Trap back in the day in Florida. So I said, word? I said, so what do you mean you dance? So she started explaining to me, oh, well, all I do is just get on stage and I dance, you know, like the movie's Players Club. Light bulbs just start going off. Ding, 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 ding. Oh my God. I know I can do this. Was I still nervous? Yes, because she's explaining, you know, you got to have dance shoes, outfits. And I said, look, I don't have any proper dance shoes. I don't have any dance clothes or what you're supposed to wear. Now, at this time, early 2000, dancing at that time was different, especially dancing in like cabarets. You had to be more so in a gown or something long, and this was a topless bar. So she gives me a couple of her outfits. She gives me this velour bikini top that was white and velour skirt, long skirt that had a slip aside. And so she says, whatever heels you use to go out in the club in, those will be fine. And I'm like, okay, but I'm also thinking, well, these aren't the shoes, to my understanding, that the girls wear. But hey, you got to start somewhere. So boom, the next night, I meet her at Club Haram. And I mean, the music is loud. You come through, it's dark. You got the black lights, the red lights, and you got the customers at this part of the bar. When you walk in, the bar is in front of your face. You have a circle stage to your right, circle stage to your left. So I'm walking in. I mean, the music is blasting. To my understanding, I think Let the Bodies Hit the Floor was playing. I don't know why I remember that, but because I love that song. So I really think, I truly believe that's what was playing. So I'm just like, okay. And she walks me back. She introduced me to the manager. Name was John. Great guy. I mean, tall, white guy, older gentleman. I mean, been in the business for a long time. And she sat me down with him. He was like, do you think you can really do this? And she's telling me, you know, it's only topless. You have to put what they call titty tape on. So he said, all the girls back there, I'm going to introduce you. They're going to show you the ropes. So, okay, fill out my application. Now, at this time in Orlando, you could still make your tips, but also the club would have you fill out a W-2, so you can get paid like a waitress. So you still got a check at the same time. Clubs, to my understanding, don't do that anymore. If they do, I've been out the loop for a minute, but the ones I've been to even after that, because I didn't retire, and people say, what do you mean retire from stripping? Well, you can. I didn't retire until I was like 32, but once I got out of Florida, no other club did that. So I don't know if it was because it was that particular club, but I worked at other clubs in Florida that still paid me as a waitress, and I got to keep my tips even though I was a dancer. So, which means I filed the 1099 at the end of the year. That's for people that work for themselves. So anyway, so we're in the dressing room, and I'm just seeing all these different girls. I mean, white ones, Asian, Hispanic, black, you name it. And these girls have these big boobs. Some have their boobs done. Some boobs aren't done. And I mean, they're all getting dressed, having this conversation, having drinks. Now, keep in mind, I'm not old enough to drink. I did not start drinking in clubs until I was old enough to drink. That is a true story, because I really didn't care for drinking, and I'll get on that in another video, how drinking alcohol affected me, why I didn't drink in the beginning, based off of family history. So anyway, I'm in a dressing room. I mean, it's booming. The girls are talking. They're talking about this customer. They're talking about that customer. Talking about how much money they're going to make. Then it's the drama. So-and-so, she took my customer, and I'm just like taking it all in. I'm just like, whoa. And still in my head, I'm trying to compare this to Players Club. And I'm thinking, at some point, somebody gonna come knock on the door with a gun and shoot this place up because these girls is arguing over money. And I'm just like, oh my God, they're talking about their private shows they did. And I'm just like, what? I'm really here in the midst of what I saw with Lisa Ray, Jamie Foxx. Like, yes, this is, and I was nervous, but I wasn't scared. Let's just say just butterflies in my stomach. So they give me a glass, they show me how to lay down the titty tape. And the titty tape is more like a it looks similar to the hospital tape they use to lay down your IV, but it's tan. It's very different. And so you lay it down. You have to measure the size of your boob with any type of glass, a shot glass, wine glass, standard glass, depending on how big your areolas are, because you had to cover those. Black girls, or even some of the white girls, any a girl of color, they may have taken a little bit of brown mascara or try to compare the color to still make them look somewhat nude, being topless. So that means you still kept your G-strings on, your bottoms on. So I'm learning, trying to cut this with the scissors, because you lay it across the glass. You go one row this way, one row horizontal, one row vertical, and you do like about 2 or 3 layers, and trying to like make it look just as real as you can. Then you take the scissors or a knife and you go around the edge of the glass to get that perfect circle. You put a slit in it, so you have a circle of tape here. You put a slit in it, and then you lay it around your boob. Then I had to put like some Pump It Up spray. Girls, they used to do their hair back in the day before we had Got to Be. It was the Pump It Up. Everybody know the Pump It Up was for the crimps, anything that you wanted to last long, okay? So use the Pump It Up spray, spray it down, boom, get a little bit of the blow dryer on cool, the hair dryer on cool, bam, done. So I'm getting dressed, and the young lady, Jen, she's getting dressed, and so, bam, he goes, let me take you around and show you to the bartender, the waitresses, because they have actual still waitresses. And so I'm like, okay, great. So I'm out there, the music is still loud. I mean, my butterflies was going, y'all. When I tell you the butterflies was going, because I'm like, oh snap, I gotta actually talk to these people. Like, at first I was really nervous about talking to them, because I'm like, what am I going to talk about? So I end up following her around. So then you get to the DJ. She introduces me to the DJ. 9 times out of 10, the DJ is like cool as hell at most clubs. Like, they try to figure out what music you like. Also, code: you cannot dance to the same music somebody has already been dancing to, as they consider a house girl that has been there longer than you. House girls have way more hierarchy, someone coming in, and it takes about, at least, I would say back then, 6 months to be a house girl, because sometimes you had to work just the day shift to make it over to the night shift. But luckily, because she had pool, I worked only the night shift, and I would work with her my first month, 2 months. So then she introduced me to the bouncers. The bouncers are also the coolest ones in the club, because the bouncers are the ones that will save your butt. Now keep in mind, you still have to pay out everybody. At the time, the house mom was not there. A house mom is a girl that sits in a dressing room, or an older woman who helps you with anything that you need: tampons, hairspray, makeup. I don't recall her being there, and I don't believe she was. I think the girls were doing everything themselves, changing outfits, doing their own makeup, putting on eyelashes before eyelashes even became popular to where they are today. Overly too much popular, I would say, because these snuffleupagus eyelashes y'all be wearing, so not cute for an everyday look. But that's just my opinion. So boom, she introduced me to everybody. She puts our name on the list. She goes, okay, you're going to get up on stage with me, but before we get up on stage, I'm going to walk you around to some of my customers. And I'm like, okay, cool. So she walks me around to her customers, and they go, hey, how you doing? Oh, they give you compliments. And then one says, oh, since you're new, I'm going to break you in, and I want you to give me a dance. So it was considered a table dance. I'm just standing there like, what in the world do I do? And then I say, can she do it with me? Because I'm new and I don't know what I'm doing. Like, I literally said that, y'all. I literally was like, can she do it with me? Because I don't know what I'm doing. He goes, sure. So I'm watching her. She starts dancing. So it's one song. One song was $7. So I'm watching her dance, and then I see her take her top off. I got on the same white outfit with these horrible, clunky, square heel shoes, strap ups. I mean, I looked a hot mess, okay? And most people would say, no, you didn't, but I think I looked a hot mess. So then I see her partially into the song. She takes her top off. So I took my top off, and any little sway way she went, I went this way, that way. If she went like that, I went like that. If she went like this, I went like this. Like, I had no clue. If she went down and bent down and came back up, I did the same thing. Everything she did, I did. Of course, they were not allowed to touch you. So then it got to the part where you had to take your dress half off, and I'm like, oh my God, my butt cheeks is gonna be out. Me standing here in nothing but underwear. So I just said, freak it, and I just took it down, and I went down. And like I said, everything she did, I did. Every time she moved, I moved, okay? Because I'm like, I need to get this darn biology book money up, okay? So that was my first dance. The guy's like, oh, you did a good job. And I'm just like, oh, thank you. I just really didn't know what I was doing. Then the time actually came, y'all, where I had to get on stage in front of a full packed out club of men, all different types of men, all different types of ages. Of course, they had to be 21 and up, from all different walks of life. And I'm just like, oh my God. So DJ is calling our names up. Now, the name I went by, now don't laugh at me, y'all. Why did I pick the name Ariel? I don't know, but that's the name I picked. I picked Ariel. So I picked Ariel, and I don't remember her stage name. I really don't. We'll just give her one. We'll call her let's just call her here's the name we normally use. Let's just say Ashley. So he goes, Ashley and Ariel to the stage. So she's like, okay, you can do this, you can do this, you can do this. Just follow everything I do. So as the girl before us has finished her last set, now this is when dancing gets real. She turns around and she says to me, okay, because we're going up as a set, whatever we make, we're going to bring it together and we're going to divide it evenly amongst each other. So no, you don't get those types of breaks. Some girls may give you those breaks if you're new. I used to when I used to help girls along the way. But my first time, I respect that hustle. She was up there with me. I wasn't going up by myself. So it was like, okay, perfectly fine. I get up on the stage, y'all. When she walked around the pole, I walked around the pole. I mean, it was the same thing. Then she would come over to me like, no, stand over here, dance over here, you're fine. And so I'm just dancing, and then first song, your top comes off. So I'm just remembering every little move she made at this table dance, trying to do a little bit of extra. Probably look like a hot darn mess. I have no clue. I wish I could interview those people, but a lot of them were way older, so who knows where they are, and I done moved on from that. But anyway, so I mean, everything she did, I did. And then it got to the second song. The second song, whereas when you took your bottoms off or took your top completely off. Bottoms, I mean, if you had on a skirt, or most girls wore skirts. They wore a lot of two pieces. Some did wear gowns. So if you had your gowns, then you would drop half of your gown down and then remove the bottom half, meaning the whole gown off. So now you're standing there in front of a packed out club of men, boobs out, excuse me, boobs out, titty tape on, and either a full, like a brief bikini bottom, or a G-string, or a thong, depending on what you prefer to wear. And I'm up here like, I don't have stage fright. It's just the butter. I didn't have stage fright. It was just the butterflies in my stomach. So I was just like, oh my God, what am I going to do? So I'm just moving around the stage, and they're just handing me money. Now at this time you had to have a garter belt. So I had on a garter belt, and with my garter belt, I had to bend down and let them tip me in my garter belt. Some of them would tip me in my hands. Some would actually slide the money like right on the edge of the stage. It just really depends. I'm sorry, y'all. The bugs keep hitting me. Oh, annoying. Anyway, so I'm just standing. I'm just doing whatever I see her do. I know this sounds redundant. I did what she did. I couldn't wait for the second song to be over with. The song was over with. Now, keep in mind, she had money all in her garters, and we both had on 2 garter belts. There was money all lined up on the stage, money just on the stage in itself, and I'm seeing $5, $10, $20. You know, I'm just seeing it all. Ones everywhere, and I'm just like, oh my God. I'm thinking like, oh, I already made my money. Like, this is crazy. When we got off that stage and went back into the dressing room, we divided the money up. It was slightly over $200. It was slightly over $200 a piece. And she said, okay, this next dance, I'm gonna need you to go out there and go on your own and do a table dance. So I said, okay, I can do it, because now I'm motivated by the money. Okay, I can do this. I can do it. I go to the next table dance. Once again, same outfit. I only had one outfit, y'all. Most girls only start with one outfit. Nowadays, they kind of get lingerie and all that from like Adam and Eve and all these different stores that sell lingerie. Normally, lingerie is not something you wear, not even to this day, unless you're like really trying to be seductive. You normally have on some type of stripper outfit. So I'm just out there like, okay, I can do this. This is my one outfit that I'm going to have on all night long. I'm going to have to make this look good. So I did my first table dance, made another $100. The guy was like, I heard you're new. I know you're going to do as best as you can do. Made another $100. Then, of course, the gentleman next to him, and then I had to walk around and work the room. And my first night at the strip club, I made $2,000. No lie. That was after tipping out all the bouncers and the DJ, and paying my house fee. You always have to pay some type of house fee. So technically I made over $2,000, but I literally went home with even a $2,000. I'm like, stop playing. Now, at this time, I didn't know all that goes along with being a dancer. So, of course, I went back the next night, and the next night. And you do get addicted. So I kind of wanted to give that backstory, because it's just, it's different per club, and it's different per person, how their night starts off, or how their stripping experience starts off. Some girls will swim, some girls will sink. It just really depends on your mentality and how you portray yourself, and the fantasy that you're giving. So I wanted to give that backstory, but let's get into from a stripper's point of view. So from a stripper's point of view, once you've done this so many times and you've been conversating with men in and out, dealing with them and hearing all their problems, you don't realize that at some point in the community of those that have come to the strip clubs, meaning the men or any passerbys, people that come through, and people see you out in public, they'll speak to you, and then your friends find out you're a dancer, and then they bring their friends to the club, and then it turns into, oh, she's a stripper, she's an exotic dancer, she's an entertainer. And people do look down on you for that. One, of course, they look down on you for that because of the fact that you are doing something that society does not agree with. I mean, you take it all the way back to the burlesque days. They just didn't, it's just women shouldn't be taking their clothes off for money. You should have some type of morals. But truth be told, you got a lot of strippers out here that got more morals than regular women that don't dance. Believe it or not, that is very, very true. So with this said, I had to deal with being around friends and people that told people that I was a dancer, and then other girls finding out that I'm a dancer and them saying slick stuff to me. Oh, you take your clothes off for money and da 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 da. Eventually, you build this really thick skin, and your comeback to majority of that is, but at the end of the day, I make more money than you. Yeah, you can say I don't have any morals. You can say I don't have any respect for myself. But compared to me dancing in front of people and you just out here dating guy after guy and slobbing the knob and giving yourself up to them and not getting no money off of it, this is how your brain starts to develop being okay. Because when you start thinking about all the people that you dated, 1, 2, 3, whoever you dated, whatever your lifestyle was with dating, and you look at it like, but what did I really get from this person? What did I did all of this, and you look at it as I did all of this for free. And yes, there are strippers that cross the line, but yeah, you look at it like that. So when you start getting the backlash, sometimes you don't even laugh. Like sometimes you don't even respond. What you actually do is you just look at them and you think about all the money you got in your pocket, how much money you can ready make tonight when they done talking, because they probably done said something slick to you at the club, or they said something slick to you outside in the grocery store. Even the grocery people will look at you funny when you start paying your groceries in ones, right? They're like, well, what in the world do you do? Are you a waitress? Yep, I'm sure enough am. I'm a waitress. That's what I will always say when like I had to pay them once. They were asking what I was doing. I would say I'm a waitress. But then once you're really into the game and you're a year, 2 years, 3 years, and you're jumping from club to club, there is a such thing, unfortunately, as black clubs and white clubs and Spanish clubs. It just is. I don't think that will ever change. You do have clubs that have a little bit of everybody now, but you still have clubs that are predominantly white and that are predominantly black and some that are predominantly Spanish. So as time goes on, like I said, you build this really thick skin, and now you're dealing with family members talking about you. Oh, I heard you dance. Of course, my father eventually found out. He didn't like that at all. But I looked at it as, I'm not in your pocket now to see this is how this starts working on you mentally. I'm looking at it as, I'm not in your pocket 24/7. I mean, technically at this point at all. And I'm not asking you to pay any of my bills. So you have conversations that you have amongst your stripper friends that everyone in that circle understands what you have going on. And then you have your regular friends, and then you have your family, and then you have society. So then you get into knowing how to maneuver between all different genres of people. Well, not genres, but all different groups of people that you deal with on a day-to-day basis. And you're just like, yo, I don't care what any of you say. I'm going to do what I want to do. Technically speaking, I make more money than all of you. So, oh, my bad, y'all. So it's just like, I'm going to just do what I want to do. And you can keep saying, I don't know why this looks weird. You can keep saying what you want to say, but I'm going to still continue to make this money at the end of the day. I'm going to make this money. And you just keep that focus. Now, then you start to deal with, hold on, you guys. Then you start to deal with just random women. Just those that I think just heard through the grapevine that you were a stripper, and they just have so much to say, and their stories of dealing with strippers. Oh, my husband slept with a stripper. Oh, my boyfriend left me for a stripper. And it's always the stripper is the bad guy. The stripper is not always the bad guy. But let's understand something, ladies, and at the end of the day, the stripper never put a gun to your husband's head, to your fiance's head, your boyfriend's head, baby daddy, father of your child, however you want to label these men that are in your life. No one put a gun to their head and told them, hey, I want you to stop doing what you're doing here. I want you to make these plans to come here and spend this money on me. They willingly go to these clubs on their own. Our job is to get money out of them. And that's our job. That's the bottom line. Now, the conversations that are had, there's tons of conversations being had in a strip club. Tons of them. And it's all up to the dancer how she chooses to regulate those conversations based off the clientele that's in front of her. You're going to have, and based off of the type of club you're at. I mean, you're going to deal with drug dealers, murderers, ex-cons, you name it. You're dealing with businessmen, lawyers, doctors. Oh, and let's not forget the preachers that come to the strip club. So you just deal with so many people from a different walk of life, and at the same time, it is sort of kind of working on your mental state, because you're becoming multiple people. You're the person that's the dancer. You know, you have your stage name is what it's called. Then you have your nickname that people call you within your friends group, your family. When you're at work, your standard government name. So now you have all these different aliases that you go by, and it does, in my opinion, it does start to wear on you and what image of you you're going to show. So, but I'm going to make a part 1. So this is going to be part 1. Well, this is more of the introduction, and I'm also going to do a part 1, 2, 3, 4, however long this takes for me to tell this story from a stripper's point of view, because it's so much to it, and there's a lot that I think men and women and young ladies that are wanting to get into this business, they can learn from this. And like I said, I danced, I'm just gonna give it 18. I danced from the time I was 18 all the way up until I was 32 years old. Always would tell myself I would stop at 25. You're not stopping. You're going to give yourself a limit time. Average girls do not stop at the time or the age they say they're going to stop. The money continues to motivate you. And we're going to talk about all different things here. I mean, we're going to get into the sex, girls that sleep with customers for sex instead of keeping it as a fantasy, turn it into a reality. Customers, the weirdos that come into the club, but the weirdos still pay you. So, you know, I'm going to get into all of that and a lot of stories that I have here. So I just want y'all to stay tuned. Y'all getting ready to hear it, because what you see now on social media, these girls aren't really telling you what's going on, and they're not showing you the bad nights, the drama, besides just the fights in the club, the creepy people that come in and try to follow you to your car. Of course, you saw that on Players Club, but no, this happens more than just once. You really have weirdos that are out here. So stay tuned. This was an introduction. So we're getting ready to come back with part 1. And of course, I'm going to start with one of my stories and talk about all the things that go on with it. So I appreciate you guys coming to the channel. Go ahead, hit like, subscribe, share it. If you know someone that's talking about being a dancer, they may want to hear this. And just be prepared. All right. Y'all have a good day. I'll be back later. All right. Bye.